Hello, now we are live. Welcome to the live training of Caplena for this week. The subject today is working together as a team, collaborating, providing roles and permissions for people and also for objects like projects and dashboards. My name is Andre. I'm the Customer Success Manager of Caplena, and I will take you through the session. And I'm joined today by Mark. Mark is from our business development team, and he will give me some support and he will help me answer questions and also join the conversation. Just quick, a few house rules. So you are muted as participants, but you can ask questions. You see on the bottom right a question tab and a chat tab. So the chat tab is for normal chatting, and the question tab, obviously, like the name says, for questions. So we would ask you, if you have a question, please post them in the question tab, and we will pick them up when we go along or at the end. The session will take about 30 minutes altogether. We usually present about 20 minutes, and then we have 10 minutes for questions. Of course, we will prioritize the questions for our topic today, but if you have any other questions, no problem. We will pick them up as well. If there's something else you wanted to ask us, if there's the time, we're happy to answer the questions. Okay, I think now we can start directly. We try to keep these sessions very hands-on, so I will share my screen now to show you our platform, because then the experience will be much more useful and practical. I will start with a screen from our website. What you can see here is the free subscriptions we offer. This is freelance, business, and enterprise. There are various differences here. Obviously, the higher you go, the more capabilities you have, and that is in regard of like technical background and capabilities, but also in terms of users, with the number of users and also user roles. So with the freelance subscription, you can offer up to 3 users, with business up to 10, and for enterprise, it's pretty limitless. And of course, the more users you have, the more the question occurs how to organize a team. If you maybe are spread over different locations, you work in different teams, different departments, it could be very interesting to give users different roles so that you can decide whether a certain team or particular person can see a project or not. And that is what the webinar or training will be about, and I will show you that directly on the platform. Just bear in mind, we have these free subscriptions which have provide you with a different set of user levels. I will talk about all user levels, but if you're, for example, in business, then maybe certain roles do not apply, but I will name that when I come to this point. So now I'm going to the platform. I'm already logged on. In this case, I'm logged on in a special role, and that's very crucial. Usually roles and permissions, they work like on a hierarchical order. So what we have for each organization, actually for each subscription, we have somewhat of a super user, which we call the root user. The root user is the person who gets the bills over his account or her account. The credits will be booked, and also this person is responsible for giving the overall team roles. And I'm now in one of those accounts. I created a few dummy accounts, so there are not that many projects here, just to show you what I'm talking about. And to make that more interesting, let me go into the appropriate menu. You see here the typical menu you probably often use for your projects and your charting and your dashboards. And then there's also the account tab. If I go in here, I have all the different account features. Here I can see some information about myself. And then there is the crucial button, which is concerning our topic today, team. If I click on team, I first can see, okay, I'm in the organization Demo Inc., Demo Incorporated, and I'm the root user. So that will say, okay, I am the member or the person where all team members share my subscription. And also I'm the person who has access to all projects, questions, charts, dashboards, as well as the team members. And what you see here on the bottom, that is my team. If you're not a root user, I will switch the role fairly soon to show you that, but just if you are familiar with this menu item here, you will also see your team members on the bottom. But if you're not a root user, you would only see the access role, which in my case I can see it's root user. But for all the other team members I have, in my case I have 3 team members, I see these buttons which I can change. So if I open them, I see all the roles. I will explain them briefly in a second. And I am, in my role, are able, and I'm usually the only person in the organization who is able to provide different roles. So if I would like to change the role of this dummy account from which is currently a external coder, I could just click on it and change it to analyst or project manager or whatever I like. Okay, here I can sort, I can delete users, and I also can add new users. Adding a new user, so normally if you are a project manager or a, let's say in brackets, normal team member, you're not able to create new users. The root user can do that. And if you're on your account, you usually have a reference who is the root user. And if you would like to add a colleague or a new member, then just contact the root user, and the root user can log on and basically say, add new user, and then you can enter an email address. I'm just using a dummy account here. Obviously, there has to be a proper email address. First name is new, last name is user, and that's all you have to do. And then you can select the role. Let's say I would like to make this person a project manager. And if I save that, then I get a confirmation from the system that this user has been created, and this person will receive an email with a confirmation link. And on clicking the link, the person can sign up, choose a password, and can start working. So that's how you add a new user, and that is be done through the root user. Before I switch into a project management account to show you, how to give a certain roles on objects and how they look on the accounts page, I briefly go through the roles. If I, for example, as I showed you here for this dummy user, I click on here, I see all the roles we have, all the 6 different roles. I can always click on the information sign to see what role it is. So if you are unsure which role you want to give to a new member, you can always check and read about it. There's a short description on the question mark or the info icon, or you can click here, and then you can see the details for all these roles. I will go briefly through them just that you to basically take you with me, that you're not get lost when I talk about these roles. So we have the external coder. This is a person meant to be maybe an external person from your organization you use maybe part-time or occasionally to help you with the fine-tuning of a certain project. So these people usually they have no uploading capability. So they cannot go on the platform and create their own projects. They can use projects which somebody else assigned. So if you're a project manager and you assigned a project to an external coder, then this person has access to this project, can do some work, but this person cannot download a project and cannot execute many different things. They can also not see the dashboards unless you give them allow them to do that. How to do that, I show you in 1 second. Just going through these roles, there is the analyst. The analyst is a person who can also not create their own projects, but this is more meant to be for larger organizations. So the analyst is only available in the enterprise subscription, and that would be a person who has access to all the projects. They cannot create their own projects, but since they're an analyst, they can look in all the data. So they can go through and gather data, like think of a data scientist who maybe needs access to some things that are going on, so they can go through all the projects, but they usually do not work on projects. They cannot download them and not upload them. Then we have the project manager. That's a very typical role. Project managers have upload capabilities, so they can create their own projects. They have full access to them. They can create dashboards, and they can also share their project with other team members, but then on an object basis. So if they created a project and you would like another project manager working on it, they have to give this person access to it. How to do that? That's the second part of our session, which will start in a couple of minutes. So this is the project manager role. The project manager role is available in the in the business subscription as well as in the enterprise subscription. Then there's the internal coder. Again, the internal coder is only in the enterprise subscription available. This would be a person who has access to all the projects. But again, they cannot create their own projects. They can only work on projects. And very importantly, they can assign code frames. They can do some of the coding and stuff like that. And they can also, that's very important for this role, which also goes for the project manager, they can inherit from other projects. And that becomes important if you think of, you have similar questions and you want to learn from the artificial intelligence from past projects. So this inheritance is very important. So the project manager can inherit from all the projects in the organization as well as the internal coder. But what they can actually do and change, that might differ. Then we have an administrator. An administrator is only available in the enterprise subscription. And as you can see from this list, I will not go through all of them. An administrator has lots of responsibilities, and this person is very, very close to the root user. So this administrator has almost as many rights as a root user, so they can create projects, they can see all projects, they can change projects, they can download. All they cannot do is they can actually also create new users and stuff like that. But the only difference to the root user is that the subscription is not going over them. But this is a really, really let's say highly capable role, which can do almost everything in an organization. Very close to the root user, but only available in the enterprise account, because that becomes necessary or interesting if you have many, many users. And then there is the full access. This is the function which is also available in the business subscription, and this is the only function in our freelance subscription, because in freelance everybody has access to everything, and that is what full access means. Full access, data access, doesn't allow you to create new users and change users, but you can see all projects from everyone in your organization, and you can also work on all these projects. So if you are working in a smaller team, if your organization is smaller and everybody works anyhow on all the projects, you can provide full access, and then everybody can see everything. That was a quick run through these roles. So if you're unsure, you can always check that on the accounts page, check the roles available. And also we have a few help articles on this topic and also on other topics. I always like to recommend that. There's this little question mark here. If you click on it, you can go to our help center where you find useful information, including something about roles and permissions. You can open a chat, can directly get in touch with me and other team members, and we are trying to be as responsive as possible. And there is, of course, the possibility to send us an email with your questions, and then we try to get back to you as quickly as we can. Okay, so that was the basic for the roles that are available. And how does that actually work in practice? And also, how can you assign a role to a certain project or a dashboard? Because if you're a project manager, for example, and you create the project, another project manager is normally not immediately capable of working on that project. To show you that, I'm logging out and I'm logging back in with a different role. I'm going into this one here. Sorry, it will be always Andre here. But as you can already see, here's some more projects. I'm going also here into the accounts page. And as I mentioned, if I go to team now, it will tell me, okay, I'm part of Demo Inc. as well as the root user I've just shown you. And my root user is, yeah, that's me. And I have the role as a project manager. And as I mentioned, if I'm here in this accounts page, I can see what's going on in my team, but I'm not able to change anything. So if I would like to change a colleague, I have to go via my root user. Or if I would like to have a different access level, then I should discuss it with the root user, just contact him or her, and then that can be sorted. So just that as a little bit of a background. So but how you work with roles and permissions on a user level, that's something I will show you now. So I'm going to my project list. I do that here via the main menu and go to manage. To keep that simple, I only have a few projects here. These are the ones you probably know, our usual suspects. These are our demo projects, which occur in every account for our two question types. And then I created another dummy project here. And this is my project. If I go here to my project, I can see all the project remains. I can also recommend that, use the search button. If I, for example, look for NPS, then it shows me all the NPS projects. But here I have this distinction. I can see all the projects I have access to. And if I click on my projects, I only see my project. So this project I created and I have access. And then And if I go into the project, I have this project action menu here. And here I can change permissions. So here, this icon shows me how to modify the permissions for a certain project. And what I see here is the list of my team members. You're now familiar with that. We have seen them. So if I go in here, I could, for example, pick this user here, which is again me with a different suffix here. It's Andre Roll. If I click on that, I could make this person the owner. So I could click on here, then I would transfer the project directly to this person, and this person would be now the owner of the project. Or I can pick object level permissions. So I can say, allow this person to view my project, allow downloading, allow editing. So I can individually decide which parts of my project my colleague can change or see or use. I'm not doing that as of yet. I will do that now. I'm just taking that back. I close it again. So this is how you change the permissions on an object. That would be for a project. Since we distinguish between projects and dashboards, of course, in most cases, the dashboard is connected to a project, but our dashboards are flexible. You can bring in data from different projects. We keep them separate. So I can also share a dashboard this way. So if I go to my dashboard list here to manage dashboards, I see this test dashboard I created. Okay, don't have to look at it, to be honest. I just wanted to show you how to change permissions. Again, you select the dashboard here, and then suddenly this icon occurs, and here you have the exact same possibilities. I can select any member from my team, and then I can click on it, and I can make them the owner of the project, of the object, in this case the dashboard, or I can allow them to view the dashboard, or also allow them to edit and change. In this case, Andre Roll has is able to view the dashboard. Okay, so this is how you can give permissions to your team. And to make that more illustrative, I'm logging out again, and I'm logging in now in a different role. So I'm going now to Andre Roll. I hope that's not too confusing, but just to give the illustration, if I now look here, I see already here in this short project list, or if I go in my project list, you see the third project, this NPS test project that's missing. If I go to my projects, I only have those. So that is not there, obviously. If I go to dashboards, look into the dashboards, I can see, okay, here is my dashboard. I am the owner, I'm Andre Roll, and I also have the reading rights, what we have seen just now at the different login of the other dashboard. So I can click on this dashboard, and then it will tell me, okay, you don't have the permission to edit the dashboard, but you can use it. But if you would like to edit, get in touch with Andre Permission and ask for the permission, basically. So if I look into this dashboard, normally you have a little edit button here where you can change the charts, or you can normally click here. I cannot do that. So I don't have access to this dashboard because I don't have the rights. How to change that quickly? I'm logging out again. I'm logging in again, and I'm logging in now as Andre Permission. And I'm now doing that what I told you. So I'm in this project, and I wanted to change the permissions, and I wanted to give Andre Roll all the permissions to my project. So I click on here and allow Andre Roll to do everything. I save that now. So now the access has been provided, and I do the same for the dashboard. So if I go to the dashboard, manage dashboards, here's my test dashboard. As you can see, since I'm the owner and have full access, I have the edit button. So I can click on edit, and I can go into this chart, and I can use a filter, or I could change the colors, or whatever I like. And these changes would be applied to the dashboards because I have reading and editing rights. And I'm going back to my dashboards, and I'm clicking here, selecting it, and I'm going here to the permissions, and I'll go to Andre Roll, and we could see here, okay, Andre had already viewing rights, and now I also give editing rights. I save that. Okay, that's done. I'm logging out again. Just for the simple exercise, I'm logging back on as Andre Roll. And now, what's changed is here that I have access now to this project. Let's check the project list. I'm going in here. suddenly I see that project. And what you see here is not my project, it's Andre permission, and that's Andre role. So if I go to my project, I still only see those two. However, I have access to all these projects because I have given the access rights from this person. So now I can click on it. I'm also allowed now to give other people access to it because I'm now integrated in the I have given all the rights, so I could go to the next user and say, okay, I give you viewing rights or downloading rights or what have you. So that's now possible. And if I go to my dashboard again, you will see the dashboard is obviously still there. If I click on it, that has changed, the information is gone, and I can also now go into the dashboard and start manipulating it, or I can go back and I can add another chart here, another text. I can work on the dashboard. And now I think I pretty much told you everything I wanted to tell you. And my question is, are there any questions? Mark, did you pick anything up?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay, that's could be a good sign that everything was clear.
It's a sign that it's explained perfectly.
Okay. Do you think, Mark, anything missing regarding the roles and permissions?
No, I think we went for everything.
Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything. However, if you feel like there is something open or you would like to ask, please feel free to ask the question. And of course, since you have a few more minutes, if there's anything else, use the chance. Mark and I are here, and we are happy to answer your other question on other topics you may have in regards to coding and Caplena and other things. All right. If that is not the case, I think it was a short and concise session. Please let everybody know who maybe was not able from your team to join the session. You will get an email with a link to the recording, so you could easily share the session, and then in about 20 minutes, bring everybody up to speed what is possible regarding providing roles and permissions on an overall level as well as on a object level for your projects and dashboards. Okay. I would say we give that an early close, giving us all more time to switch our minds to other things. And of course, if there are other questions, I showed you the little question mark on the right. Don't forget, just send a message and join us. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.